Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and on today's video I got this beautiful 2015 Dodge Challenger right behind me. So the issue with this Challenger, customer was complaining that the screen on the radio turns on but there's no audio. So how about in today's video we try to figure out this problem and give this vehicle back to the customer. Alright, so we're inside the vehicle right now. Let's go ahead and see what's exactly going on. We're on the radio right now, and check this out. The volume button is actually going up, as you can see, 38 and so on. So that's not working. So they did take it to the dealership, and what the dealership did, they did replace this actual face unit right here, thinking that that was going to be the actual problem. But as you can see, it's still having this issue. I did want to check something out before I ever start working on any car. I like at least doing some preliminary checks, and I want to try this out first. So this might be a pretty fast video, but what they're trying to tell you to do is to hold the volume button and the browse button at the same time. So we're going to do that. Let's see if you can see that. Hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see what happens. All right, so that should be hard reset mode, and what that's going to do is going to do like a hard reset or factory reset, what I remember seeing from there, and we're going to see what exactly happens. So let's see if this does anything, and still nothing. Let's check out the volume control. Absolutely nothing. So this is not going to be the fix here. As you can see, we resetted the time there. So what we can do now, let's go to the area that the customer told me that there is a wreck. She let me know that there's a front end wreck. I just want to kind of look around there and see if we see any damage. I did a preliminary check. I didn't see nothing. But then afterwards, we're going to go to our wiring diagram and check that out as well. Because like I said, they took it to the dealership. They changed this out right off the bat. I want to see if there's any other things there that we might want to check out to verify what's going on. I remember working on this one vehicle. It was a Trans Am, and it had an amplifier. So let's see if this vehicle has an amplifier or it just has this radio system. So let's go to the front of the vehicle so we can see exactly what happened. All right, so this is the front of the vehicle right here. She did say that they went over something, and she did show me something in this area, but as we can see right here, I don't see really anything. Unless they did a really good job, the one who repaired this, I don't see too much damage in this area. And like I said, I did check a little bit more, but I couldn't find anything down there. So my next thing right now is to go into the wiring diagram, and then I want to see if we find anything in this system. So let's go check this out and see what we find out. Alright, so I pulled out a wiring diagram right here. As you can see, we have our 2015 Dodge Challenger. We got a couple fuses right here, and check what this has. This does have a radio amplifier right here. Main thing right here that I want to check out, because it did say that it was in a wreck, does this have any power feeds? So if we go down here, this is a fuse 27, and that one does feed in to this radio amplifier. So that's going to be a red and gray wire 12, and as well, amplifier has a ground wire, which is going to be a black one, connector 1, and that's going to be ground. So what we can do first, just to verify this, easy little test, verify we have a busted fuse, and this is going to be on the center rear of luggage compartment, fuse 27, 25 amp fuse. And then after that, we can verify we have a good ground right here. Make sure that nothing got damaged whenever they said that they had a wreck. You know, if it went to the body shop, make sure that all grounds are good. As you can see, we do have some grounds right here, but we just got to verify that. So let's go to the back right here, center rear of luggage compartment, and let's look up this 25 amp fuse. All right, so we're in the back of the trunk right here, and to get to the fuse box, we got to open this up right here. And we have our battery, and then we look down here, there's our fuse box. So if we take this open right here, we can actually look inside, and if we go right here, as you can see, is 22 through 27. So let's go down here. We got our 22, 327. And right now we have our key on position, so we can test our fuse. So remember, we got to verify that we're going to test power, so we got to hook up to the ground side. And this is our ground side because, as you can see, it goes to our body. And over here is our power because we have a plus right here. So let's verify that our test light's working. Beautiful. Now let's go to our fuse, one end of the leg. Look at that light, nice and bright. Go on another one, and nice and bright as well. So we do have power on our fuse. Now what we want to do is see where our actual amplifier is at, and I want to check out the grounds as well. So make sure that we're actually getting our powers all the way over there and our grounds. But I'll let you know one thing. Remember, this wasn't a wreck. If, let's just say, we had a wire that was crimped or grounded, that fuse would probably blow, more likely blow. So I'm not thinking that that's going to be the issue. But what I want to go do is go to our amplifier, verify that we are getting our powers and grounds to that section, because there might be a splice or a connector that might be damaged. So I want to go there and see what we find out. So let's go to the wiring diagram and see where exactly this amplifier is at. Alright, so if we look right here at our wiring diagram, it says radio amplifier left kick panel. So the left kick panel, let's go see. Let's take this off and let's see what we find out when we take this out. Alright, let's open this up. Hate that annoying noise. Remember, if you want to take that off, just kind of, and there you go, shuts up. Alright, so it's showing that it's going to be right here on this end. So what we can do, we can go ahead, remove this. Alright, so I ended up taking up the kick panel and there was nothing in here, so I went inside to verify exactly where it's at, and it's actually showing that it's up in here. And there you go. There's your amplifier right there. So if I'm not mistaken, we have this red and gray, and then this black wire over here. Is take this off, and here's our black wire. And what I want to do, rather than using my actual test light, I'm going to use an actual headlight. Remember, I want to put some load into this, and I want to verify what's going on. So we still have our ignition on. Let's go get our test light and let's verify that we have powers and grounds to this. And then after that, could it just be our amplifier that's bad? This does have a sunroof right here, so if we look up here, it does have a sunroof. So there could be a tendency that it could get clogged up, get water in there. So our amplifier is kind of right behind here, and that can be our main issue. But like I said, we have this right here. So let me go get our headlight and let's test this out and verify what's going on. And I have 2 back pins, so we're just going to back probe the power side. Who here thinks I should get a GoPro and put it on my chest so I don't have to do one hand anymore, because I'm using one hand to record. Alright, so I have the key on position, and we're back probing powers and grounds, and let's see what happens. Absolutely nothing. Alright, now what we can do just to test this theory, let's just make sure that we have good ground. What we can do right here, hook into that, and then on our DLC, if you know how powers and grounds work on there, number 16 is going to be our power, and 4 and 5 are going to be our grounds. So one end is to our ground, and then I'm going to go to our DLC. Alright, so our DLC is going to be right up here. And look, check that out. Nice and bright. So we have good ground. Now what we can do is check our power. So I'm going to go right here, and then we're going to move to our ground side of our DLC. Let's see. And as you can see on 4, nothing happens. So what's going on? We have good ground, no power right there. Our fuse is working. Now let's verify what's going on. Could there be a splice somewhere? That can be a possibility. So let's go check out our wiring diagram, see if we have anything there. So we have good ground, but we don't have power going to the amplifier. So how about we go into a wiring diagram, check that out, see what's going on right there, see if we have any splices, and then we can go from there. But you know what I want to try out? We're going to get our power probe, and I'm actually going to put power to our connector while we have it connected. I just want to see if it turns on. So that lets us know that our amplifier is working well, and then we can check that out. So let's hook this up, get our power probe, and put some power to it. We have our power probe right here, and we're going to feed it power. But what I'm going to do so we can hear the radio, I'm going to turn it down. Let's see. There you go. So we still have power. I'm going to keep it on right here and go down here and actually get power to the connector. Oh, check that out. Alright, so let's give it power again. And she's bumping with that Alpine right there. Alright, so sweet. Now we know that the amplifier is working, but now what's going on? Where do we have the power loss? So we can see right there that that's working. Now we have to verify from here to the fuse box where it's not working. So let's go to the wiring diagram again, see if we have a splice there, and then let's do some testing to verify where we have the break or what's going on. Alright, so we have our fuse right here. This is fuse 27, 25 amp fuse, and if we check that out, I420. Alright, so we have that connector right here, and that is the only part that, as you can see, has a connection. So now we got to verify where that's at and see what we can find out. So let me do some digging and see where exactly this connector is at, and hopefully we can find this problem and then see if we can fix this vehicle and give it back to the customer. Alright, so I found out where this connector is at, and it is inside the vehicle right here. That is the inline body IP4, and that's going to be on the inside. So let's check this out. It looks like it's kind of close where the blower motor is at. So let's see if we can actually see it and see what we find. Alright, so I went ahead, took all this apart right here. Alright, so we have this red and gray connector, and that's our connector right here that we're looking at, the I420. So what looks like this comes from the fuse box, goes up here, goes into the connector, and then that connector goes into our amplifier over there. Now what we're going to do, I have this pierced right here, pomona, so it's going to be a small little piercing, and we're going to go and back probe this and verify, because this is coming from our fuse box, we're going to verify if we have power here, if our issue is going to be from here or from our connector on up. So this is going to be a pretty cool test, because we're going to verify where our problem's coming from this side or from that side. So let's check this out right here. Alright, so we have our test light right here. I'm going to get a good ground source. We're going to choose this nut right there, and let's see what happens. Look at that, absolutely nothing. Alright, so that lets us know that we don't have power on this side. So what can be going on? Let's go to the trunk right now and let's see what we find out in there. Our problem's probably not going to be where the connector's at onward, because if we are checking out before the connector right here, like I said, this is before the connector, so our issue might be going somewhere over there. So now what I want to do, let's go to the trunk and let's see if we can find a wire just right outside the fuse box and test that out to verify if that's the issue or somewhere in the fuse box. So let's go back to the trunk and see what we get. Alright, so remember, we're doing our test right here, so if we push this a little bit more back, and then what we can do is try to find our red and gray wire. And check this out, we have a red and gray wire right here, and then we have a red and gray wire right here. So we actually have two of them right here. Alright, we gotta verify which one's which, and we gotta see what's going on. So what we can do, a quick little test, we can hook up to one red and gray wire, remove the fuse and see if it loses power, and then check out the other one and then go from there. So let's see what's going on. This is getting kind of interesting now. Let me get my pomona, and we're gonna back probe right here, and we're gonna verify what we find out. All right, so I'm gonna get my pomona right here, and we're gonna go ahead and pierce the first one that I see. So we're gonna go to our ground to test power right here. Remember, keys on the on position, and we have power. So there you go, there's one of them. But the moment of truth, what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove this fuse right here and see if that light stays on nice and bright. So we remove the fuse and nothing. So that's probably not our red and gray wire. And like I said, we do have two right here, and these are smaller piercings. You're not going to see any copper right here. As you can see, it is really minuscule. Now what we can do is verify this. So we're going to pierce this one, barely pierce it. We still on the ground. All right, so that's on now. And let's take off our fuse right here. And let's see what happens. Oh, all right. Man, I don't know if you heard that. That was a pop. Yeah, did you hear that? And look, it's on right now. Do we have a connection problem right here? Oh, look at that. All right, check that out. I put it in there, and I'm just gonna wiggle this fuse right here. You just wiggle it, look at that. Wiggle it, and it turns off and on. I'm just moving the fuse. What I'm finding right here is that this fuse is just moving up and down. And when I do that, so is it going to be as easy as the fuse? Let's put another fuse on there and let's see what we get. Alright, so I got another 25 amp fuse. As you can see, this is the old one. And what we're going to do, we're just going to push that in there. Man, I don't know if you can hear that pop. Alright, that's in there. I'm just going to try to maneuver, like kind of wiggle this. Alright, now that's a lot better. Back then, we would just kind of wiggle this fuse and it'll turn off. But the main thing is that this is pulling low amperage, low current. So what I want to do is actually get my headlight and verify if that's actually working. So let's give that a shot. Let's get the little headlight and see if it can actually produce enough amperage to get that one. All right, so we have our headlight right here. Let's put one in. All right, it's nice and bright now. So was our fuse just not sitting in there right? What was going on? Let's go inside the vehicle and check this out. Verify that this is actually working now. All right, we're turning on our radio. I'll put the volume down because remember last time we turned it on, it's pretty loud. Let's see what we get. Hey, there you go. I'm just gonna kind of have this on, and let's go to the back right now. We can still kind of hear it back here. All right, so we can hear it. And what I'm going to do is just kind of move this. You see, we take off the fuse, music stops, put it back on there, starts working. So our issue is going to be our fuse, but I got to see exactly what's going on right there. But as you can see, that's where our issue is at. So I'm going to talk to the customer, try to figure this out, and see what we get. So there you go. If you do like this video, please put a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell to get our brand new videos coming out from Miles Mechanics. So y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day.